Hey yogis, welcome back to another 20 to 30 minute flow. Today's class is all about opening up and finding a sense of expansion and abundance within our body. So we'll start quite gently with a little bit of breath work and some gentle upper body stretches. And then we'll move into a bit more of a flow as we find openness through the upper body and into the hips and the lower leg area. We'll finish with a gentle little bit of relaxation, and hopefully you walk away from this session, as always, feeling expanded, balanced, and in flow. So let's get started. I invite you to begin in any comfortable position on your back. I am going to find a supported reclined butterfly today. So I have my bolster, and it's the top half of it is rested on a block here. So it's kind of coming downhill from the block so that I can then allow myself to kind of lay over it here, bringing the soles of my feet together and my knees wide. And I can find that sense of openness and expansion through my chest and my shoulders as I take my arms out wide into a T shape. My palms are facing the sky in a offer or a invitation of receptivity here. And let's just take a moment as we allow all of the parts of our body to settle here in this shape on the mat. And I encourage you to join me in 3 what are known as physiological sighs here to help us really ignite that parasympathetic rest, digest, repair state from the get-go. So the way these work is we take 3 short, sharp breaths in through our nose. And then we hold the breath at the top for a beat, and then we allow it to come out of the mouth in one deep sighing breath. So it's 1, 2, 3 breaths in, and then a nice deep or single sigh breath out. We'll take 3 rounds. So when you're ready, exhale all of the air out, and then breathing in for 1, 2, 3. Hold it at the top here, and then sigh it out. Beautiful. Again, breathing in, 2, 3. Hold it and sigh it out. And then 1 more round here. 3 breaths in. Hold and sigh it out. Beautiful. Just let the breath return to a natural rhythm now. You may notice that your breaths already feel a little deeper and longer as a result of that. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the floor quite wide, probably just wider than your mat. And then allow the knees to tick-tock side to side here. So we're finding this kind of windshield action with the legs. Starting to warm up into the hips and bringing a really gentle bit of rotation into the spine. Move as quickly or as slowly as feels good for you here. Beautiful. And then bringing the feet back to center, we'll find a constructive rest shape. So the soles of the feet to the floor here. Feel free to stay on your bolster if that feels good, or you can roll it out of the way. And then we're going to stretch our right leg long, drawing the toes back towards the face, pushing the heel away from us. Inhale deep here. And then as we exhale, we're going to engage our hip flexor, so the front of the hip, to draw that leg up and towards the body. And you're welcome to find a little bend in the knee here if your hamstrings require that. The focus more is on engaging the front of the hip. Exhale as we lower, so that you can lift that leg up and down. And you may notice that you can't get your leg as high as you might in this action if you were using, say, your hands or a strap and finding a bind. We're more focusing here on finding mobility and strength rather than looking at the flexibility within the hamstring at this point. So just kind of warming up that hip flexor joint. Really nice. And then next time you lift the leg up, let's cross that foot over the other knee and find a figure 4. Stay here, or if you'd like a little more, you may like to draw that base leg in, holding underneath the hamstring or maybe on top of the shin. Gently opening that right knee up here. Finding your breath. Maybe you'd like to circle through that base ankle if you have the leg lifted. Beautiful. And then allow that to come into a twist. So sole of the left foot finds the floor if it's not there already. Gently take the hips towards the right and then let the feet and the knees fall over to the left. It's a little bit awkward if you're still on the bolster. Might feel quite supportive. It's feeling quite good for me with my shoulders. So I'm going to stay on the bolster. And if you prefer, feel free to roll it out of the way here. The focus is on a twist in the spine. Beautiful. And then slight engagement of the core as we draw the legs back into center, finding that constructive rest once again. Okay, this time we'll extend that left leg nice and long, toes towards the face, reaching out through the heel. Inhale here. Think about connecting lower back with floor, finding that slight bit of abdominal engagement. And then exhale, raising the leg. Nice. Just flowing through this action, really consciously focusing on igniting that hip flexor, that front of the hip. You might also get a bit of a hamstring stretch too, which is an added bonus. You'll also feel this gently waking up the core, especially if you're focusing on connecting that lower spine with the floor. Nice. Okay, let's cross that foot over the knee now. Stay here or maybe draw the leg in. Gently opening that left knee out as we perhaps circle through the right ankle. Nice. And then setting up for that twist. So finding the floor with that right foot, shifting the hips to the left, and then letting the knees and the feet fall to the right. And if you like, you can turn your gaze, your head away from your knees here. That's going to enhance the twist in the upper spine. Beautiful. And then return back to center and gently make your way to seated. You can roll to one side or maybe just sit yourself up. We'll remove your props out of the way, but do keep those blocks handy in case you like them as kind of a floor elevator. And then come to a seated cross-legged position, just an easy pose, Sukhasana, or you can have the ankles crossed if your knees would like to drop down further. Finding that length here in the spine as we just find some seated cows, inhaling, bursting the heart through the gates of the shoulders, looking up to the sky. And then exhale, rounding all the way back. So you're almost coming onto your lower back here as you use the knees to help create that leverage and rounding through the upper back, chin to chest. Again, inhale forward. Exhale, round. One more, more round here. Beautiful. And then coming back to that nice long neutral spine. We'll cactus the arms now. And then just find some simple torso rotations to the right. So we're coming center, then twisting to the right. And we want to think about initiating this movement from the mid back, from the spine. So rather than craning the neck or really straining through the eyes to look over that shoulder, think about coming from the torso and allowing the core to help you out a little bit here too. Nice. This time as you twist, we'll take the right fingers behind us, left hand comes outside that right knee as we look over that right shoulder, finding that nice deep twist here. And if you'd like to increase this and enhance it more, we can reach that left arm towards the back corner of the room. That's going to also give us a nice lateral stretch down the left side of the body. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, re-cactus the arms, second side. So starting with those twists, using the strength of the core and the spine to create that rotation. And then this time holding the rotation as you place the right hand outside the left knee, fingertips just gently on the floor behind you to enable you to reach up through the crown of the head as you twist over that left shoulder. Nice. And then start with the head as you unravel here. Let's now make our way to tabletop. We're slowly getting higher on our mat, slowly making our way to standing. And here, finding some nice juicy hip circles. So drawing big circles with the hips, allowing them to drop down to the mat. And then perhaps drawing them quite far back to the heels as you draw them up, if that feels good. Allowing the head to move here as a natural extension of the spine. One way and then the other. Reversing those rotations. Finding that sense of fluidity and openness within the spine, the chest, the shoulders. Nice. And then we'll find a melting heart puppy pose. So the hands come forward and potentially a little wider depending on your shoulder mobility. Allow the chest to melt between the shoulders here and either bring the forehead to the floor or maybe to a block. Or if there's a little more range of motion, perhaps you can bring the chin to the floor and gaze down the bridge of the nose here. Finding that breath. Beautiful. And then scooch the body forward so we're staying nice and low, close to the mat. Coming into a little baby cobra. So hands are just alongside the ribs, elbows are tucked in. As we press into the mat, inhale, lift, gazing down the bridge of the nose. Exhale, controlling that descent down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Maybe you can come a little higher this time. You're hugging those elbows in, lower down. 1 more round. Inhale, lift. Beautiful. Exhale, lower it down. And then send those hips back, finding your extended child's pose just for a beat here. Perhaps you want to sway and roll side to side, loosening those hips up a little more. And then preparing for your downward facing dog when you're ready. So we'll tuck those toes and send those hips up and back. You may like to pedal through the feet here. My mat's very slippy today. I'm just going to hold the edges for a minute as I really work into my legs. My hamstrings and my calves need some love today. So I'm pressing firmly into my hands and guiding my hips to sky, heels to earth. Beautiful. And then finding some stillness here for a beat as we breathe in, finding expansion in every direction, forward, back, side to side. And exhale as we ground hands and feet into the earth. Really nice. Okay, from here, let's look towards the front of the mat and tiptoe, step or hop ourselves forward. Inhaling to a halfway lift when we get there. And then exhaling to fold. This time, ground through the feet as we come all the way up to standing. Arms reach above the head. And exhale through to heart center. Beautiful. Let's flow. Inhale, raise those arms up. Maybe there's a back bend there for you if you're feeling quite open today. And then exhale, hinge it forward. Find your Uttanasana forward fold. Inhale here, find a halfway lift. And then slight variation. We're not going to step back to plank today. We're going to heel toe the feet slightly wider so that we can sit the heels down between the knees or between the heels and find a Malasana yogi squat. Now you may like to support your pelvis here with a block if it feels a little tricky, or you could just come down less low. So keep the hips quite high. Another option if your heels aren't touching the floor is to roll your yoga mat up so that the mat comes higher to meet your heels. Beautiful. Taking a breath here. And then as we breathe out, let's step the left foot back. So we're coming into this lizard lunge shape and just making sure we can still see those toes beyond that front knee. From here, dropping the back knee. First, opening the right knee up as we find a little twist and look over that right shoulder. And then we're going to bring the torso up as we inhale and circle it back, opening ourselves up here. So looking back over the left shoulder now, reaching through that left ring finger. Beautiful. Then twist the torso back the other way. If you'd like a little more, you can hook that right hand outside the right knee as you find your twisted dragon. Nice. And then bring the hands to the floor, tuck those back toes, send it into your downward facing dog and pedal it out here. Really nice. And then looking forward, tiptoe step or hop as we find a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Ground to rise all the way up to standing, arms above you. And exhale, let's cascade straight down into a second round, Uttanasana. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, finding that yogi squat, heel toe the feet out if you need. Nice, hands find the floor. This time we step the left leg back long. And first we find that open, easy twist. actually, it's the other leg, I'm sorry. Step the right leg back long. Find that open, easy twist over the left knee here. Really nice. And then dropping that back knee, circle the right arm back to find that open twist. So looking over the right shoulder, stretching through that right ring finger. And then the other way, so twist the body over the front leg, maybe hook the right hand outside that left knee, looking over the back shoulder. And then send it back when you're ready, downward facing dog. Nice, yogis. Pedal it out here. And then as we inhale, let's start with from the balls of the feet, find a ripple through the spine as we come forward into our plank pose. And then exhale, bend through the knees, send the hips back, downward facing dog. One more round. Inhale, unravel, come forward. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Lovely. Okay, from here, let's inhale and raise the right leg up and back behind us. And then as we exhale, draw that knee into chest, hover here for a beat, and then place the foot between the hands. Back knee stays lifted here as we raise the torso up, finding a crescent lunge. Inhale here as we ground through the feet and find length through the crown of the head. And then exhale, arrowhead. So legs stay as they are. We just hinge the body forward as the arms reach back behind us. Nice. Two more like that. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, arrowhead lunge. Nice. And now keeping that torso pitched forward, we're going to head into warrior three. You might like to step the back foot in slightly here to help you balance. And then when you're ready, taking flight. Coming into that warrior three as we rotate the left pinky toe towards the floor. Think about guiding lower ribs towards hip bones here, lengthening through the crown of the head. Nice. And then drawing the knee into chest as we come to single leg mountain. Options, we can either hold around the knee here as we draw the chin to chest, or maybe you want to reach those arms up towards the sky, finding that full expansion through the back line of the body. Really nice. Final extension here is to lengthen through that left foot, again drawing the toes to the face. And then we're going to send it all the way back, warrior three, perhaps keeping those arms in front of you this time for that core challenge. Big bend in the front leg as we send it back, crescent lunge, maybe a little opening through chest, finding that back bend. Beautiful. And then taking a flow when you're ready. So from your high plank, coming down halfway or all the way, chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Find your breath, find your center here. And let's find that second side when you're ready. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, draw that knee into chest as we come forward, and then place the foot between the hands. Lifting up as you find your crescent lunge, inhale. And then exhale, hinge it forward, arrowhead lunge. Nice, two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge it forward, and then prepare to come into that warrior three when you're ready. So this time, right leg is lifting behind us. Again, shorten the space between the ribs and the hips so that we engage that outer glute on the left leg. That's what we want to use to stabilize us here. Beautiful. Draw the knee into chest, finding single leg mountain pose. Length through the spine. Stay here or extend the arms up. Maybe reach the heel of that foot forward. And then lots of fun here as we hinge forward, swoop that left leg back behind us, back into your flying warrior. And then deep bend in that front leg, lifting up and in, reverse crescent, not reverse crescent, just crescent. And then take your flow. High plank, halfway or all the way down, low plank, cobra or up dog. And then send it back, downward facing dog. Nice, yogis, pedal it out. Beautiful. Okay, inhale, lifting that right leg once again. This time we'll draw the knee in, place the foot down, and find an easy twist. So left hand stays on the floor as we open that right arm up to the sky. Okay, we're heading to side plank from here. So finding integration on this left shoulder, grounding through the left hand. And then our options, option one, you can heel toe the right foot to the center of your mat. Option two, you can drop the base leg and extend the top leg long. Or option three is a full Vashisthasana side plank. Choosing your option here, whichever one you choose, trying to have those hip bones facing the side of your mat, the way that you're looking. And then stay here, or maybe you'd like to go into a wild thing from here as we take the right foot behind us, open through that chest, letting that head drop back as we melt the right arm open. Fully opening and expanding here, feeling that sense of spaciousness within the body. And then slowly revolve it back if you found that wild thing, and taking your flow, or you can head straight back to a downward facing dog, listening to your body, doing what feels right today. Wherever you choose to go, once you arrive in your downward facing dog, finding a sense of home here, revisiting your breath, grounding the feet and the hands down into the mat. And then when you're ready, inhale, raise that left leg up and back. Draw that knee in and then place the foot between the hands. Easy twist here as we inhale, lifting that left arm up. Preparing for your version of side plank. This time, right hand is down, lifting up through the hips. And then staying here, yogis, or wild thing, left foot comes behind us. Expanding and opening. Beautiful. And then flow it out, moving nice and slowly and consciously. Finding your downward facing dog when you're ready. Really lovely. Okay, one more time, unravel forward and into your plank pose, and then we get to lower all the way down onto the belly. So you can lower with control or just flop asana on down there, whatever you're feeling today. We'll find one locust pose and then either a bow pose or another locust. So when you're ready, forehead to floor, hands come alongside the hips, and then let's inhale, reach the fingertips back, elevate the legs, engage those glutes and hamstrings. Reach particularly through the ring fingers as we gaze down the bridge of the nose. And then with control, exhale, lower everything down to the floor, maybe rock and roll out through those hips. Nice. And then take one more of those, or set up for your bow pose as we draw the feet in towards the glutes. Hands can either hold outside of the feet, or what I'm loving, and what gives me a little bit more opening through my shoulders, is holding the insides of the feet. So my thumbs are reaching up to the sky, and I'm holding kind of inner arches. And then when you're ready, kick into the hands as you lift up. Try and keep those knees tracking in line with the hips here. Gazing down the bridge of the nose, whichever variation you've chosen. Lift up, 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 just a little more. And then lowering it down with control, really nice. We'll hit the floor, rock and roll through those hips. And then we'll send it back, child's pose, when you're ready. Reaching the hands forward, hips over heels as we lengthen through the spine. Nice, yogis. Okay, coming up to seated with your legs wide now, coming into Upavishta Konasana, or a nice wide-legged straddle. Feel free to prop your sit bones on a block here if you need a little more length through your spine. And then just as we did at the beginning, we're going to take the cactus and find just 3 twists over that right leg. And on the third twist, we'll take the right fingertips behind us, take that left hand just outside the right thigh, and really focus on opening through the left leg as we do this. So we want to really externally rotate as much as we can. Nice. And then stay here, or maybe you can hinge that body forward over that right leg, making sure that left leg isn't rolling in. If you notice it is, perhaps just draw the leg in slightly here. Find that deep, lengthened breath. And then coming back up. Finding the cactus shape with the arms and heading to the second side. So twisting over the left leg here. We're drawing the toes back towards the face. On the third round, hook that hand outside the leg as we twist and look over that shoulder. Now focusing on external rotation through the right leg as we ground through that right glute. And then stay here or hinge the body forward. You've got to really actively reach out through the right heel, to keep that right glute grounded down into the mat. Just inhale, lift us up, coming back to center. Another breath here, or if it's there for you, you can hinge the body forward, resting the elbows on blocks or over a bolster. Maybe you can find the floor. Just finding that breath. And when you're ready, give your legs a little bit of help, drawing the hands under the knees, revisiting that tick-tocking of the legs that we did at the beginning. And then when you're ready, finding a comfortable seat here as we finish up. Taking a big breath in as we circle the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, bring the hands through the third eye chakra into heart center as we close down the eyes or soften the gaze. Noticing any shifts that have occurred in the body throughout this practice. Hopefully there's a little more sense of openness, of expansion. A little more joy, a little more love, all of these high vibrational feelings that attract more abundance into our life. Now, as you think about one thing today that you are grateful for, allow your lips to curl up into a smile in gratitude for this thing. Keeping that smile on your face as you bow to yourself, to this practice, to this time you have carved out to cultivate your wellness. And as you lift, I'm committing to sharing this with everyone we come into contact with today, just by being in alignment, by feeling well, by knowing we are whole, just as we are.